Hello, everyone who might be watching this, namely Kanyu, Kane, and Zoroff. You know your real names, just in case. In today's adventure, you're going to get to see behind the screen a little bit for what I do. First, let's put on some music. We cut to a dark room, a simple table in the center with two empty chairs on one side and our hero, air quotes hero, Vice, sitting in it. It's been 12 hours since the fight in the courtyard. He's refused to speak with anyone. The guards have just told him an attorney has been provided for him, and Ashley, his girlfriend, let's go with girlfriend, will be speaking with him. He hears a creak as the door opens. Enters, he sees the familiar figure of Ashley, and then a new figure. This is a Kanku male. He appears to be a regular old rooster. Mr. Shin? Or is it Yoshimasa Shin?
Yoshimasa Shin.
Can I just call you Vice?
Only my friends can call me Vice.
Well, I plan to be your good friend, especially since I'm going to help you get through this, but you gotta talk to me and then to the guards. He moves up to the table and sits down. Ashley follows. All right, Vice. My name is Maximilian Feathers. I will be your attorney.
Feathers, seriously.
I couldn't think of a better last name. Anyway, boy, I want you to tell me what happened in the courtyard.
It's very simple. I merely defended the people of this fine city against rioters who were seeking to plague it.
I need details, boy. From the
Well, the
beginning.
cult members were riling up these dissenters, and before that became a problem, I nipped it in the bud, as any noble lord such as myself would do.
That's not gonna work with a jury. I want you to do details, play by play, turn by turn.
I already did. What more do you want from me?
Based on what your companions have already said to the police, the way it goes is, he pulls out a notepad. You learned about the disturbance through the guard Marcus. He managed to make it to your tavern while severely injured. He died on the premises before you could render aid, but he asked for your help. You all then immediately rushed out, following the noise and the, fire smoke. And you came across the courtyard. Now, this is where some details don't quite mesh up based on what people saw. When you first entered the courtyard, what was the first thing you did?
What was it? I don't remember.
I'm going to actually have you roll an intelligence check to see if you remember.
Is that where I just hit?
You just hit intelligence.
Oh, damn. I definitely should remember that.
You do. The first thing you did was, as you rounded the corner, you yelled, "Drop weapons," and then fired. You didn't give him enough time to react, but you did yell, "Drop weapons," and then shot. Used your crossbow or hand axe, I don't remember. I'm going to say crossbow.
Yeah, I think the first person was a crossbow.
Alright, you did warn them. Did you give them
It was
enough?
supposed to be a warning shot, but unfortunately my aim was a little off.
Don't say that in front of the jury. I'll take warning shot. I can work with that. What happened after that?
Seeing there were rioters and cult members all in one and in tandem, I rushed to enter the fray.
What did your companion Arya do during this moment?
She casted some sort of spell, but I wasn't really concentrating on her as I was fighting for my life out there.
That doesn't match up with testimony we have. From what everyone told us, she tried to climb on top of the water fountain first and yell at the crowd and get them to stop. It was only.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry, I forgot that part. Yeah, yeah. Apparently, she did that, but her words were like poison and just incited the rioters to even more
Did they
violent
attack
acts.
you before or after she tried to reason with them?
Before
Hmm.
it was after. I don't know. I can't remember either.
Well, the good thing is I remember. He goes, there's enough leeway and not enough detail to know for sure all happened within a few seconds. Be difficult to argue, but we can do it, boy. So, once the fighting started, did you intentionally target civilians, cultists, or what?
Honestly, it was hard to discern among who was who, because who's to say a cultist has to be dressed in robes and couldn't be pretending to be a civilian and
So
inciting the rest?
you do know the cultists were the only ones with weapons and were wearing armor. It was leather armor, but it was armor.
Yes, so they want you to think. Could have had hidden agendas where they were unarmed. You can't be too naive to not think that, I hope.
It's not what I think, it's what the damn jury thinks, boy. And right now, this damn city wants your head on a fucking pike. The only thing
After
that
all I've done for them? Wow, they're quite ungrateful.
they've been riled up and crazed. It's a good thing you got friends in high places who paid for me. Moving on. We had a testimony from both I and Kane that at one point they tried to grapple and surround you. Is this true?
Wait, what? They did? I thought it was only the mobs who did that.
I mean the mob.
Oh. Yes, I could not tell if they were trying to pin me down to kill me or whatnot, but I was about to defend myself either way.
Alright, right.
In the heat of battle, I'm not sure if you've ever been in a battle, good sir, but you don't take anything for granted.
Only the battle of law and order.
Indeed, a battle with swords is a tad bit different.
You're one of those. You're one of those sacks of hammers that would have chosen trial by combat back in the day if they still allowed it.
Of course, the sword is mightier than the pen, after all.
He turns to Ashley. He's a good adventurer. I can tell he's not guilty, but the boy's dumb as a sack of hammers. He whispers that, by the way. I just said it for comedic effect. All right.
I have
So
15 intelligence. I'm intelligent. I'm just not very wise.
yes,
I have
exactly.
average wisdom,
Yeah. So next,
slightly above average. I guess what is average wisdom? Is it 12?
10 or 11 depends on the
Because
depends
you
on the
get a
setting.
+1.
You get a
Isn't
plus
that
one
does that?
at 12.
Yeah. So doesn't that mean you're slightly above average then?
Depends on the setting. For
Hmm.
generally, most people are accepted that the average is 10, but it also depends on their profession. For example, the average priest, their wisdom's probably a 14. Average blacksmith is probably going to have a higher strength than most people. Things like
Would be
that.
the average fighter's wisdom? You think 10?
-6? I'm kidding. Moving on.
Anyways, where were we?
Moving on. The next thing I have to speak about. It says at one point your paladin friend Zoroff. How the fuck do you say his name? Moving on. He apparently at some point cast a spell and made some of the cultists surrender. At this point, you were surrounded by the crowd and pulled out something and I quote, fucking energy beams shot out of his eyes and killed everyone. What the hell was that? Excuse me,
Oh,
his.
It's my special move, actually. I take great part in it. It what's it called again? Give me a second. Ah, yes, it is called Flay, or I named it Flay because it flays the skin from their bones. Um,
Just
Basically a
so you
blast of
know, it
pure.
comes from a magic item.
I know, but he doesn't know that.
Well,
A
that's what
blast
that's
of.
what he's asking.
Oh yes, it comes from a magic item. Yes.
All right. If I can prove it was a magic item, that will definitely
Yes. No, I'm no warlock.
that will be very helpful. It possibly may. Well, I know everything you have has been confiscated. You're lucky you even have a shirt. It was likely to be confiscated for you. It may possibly be returned. Part of the terms of release may include surrendering that item for a time. You're friends with Captain Brook, right?
Would like to think so.
Alright, he can probably get it back to you. You might be without it for a time, but if the jury can convince it was self-defense, it's no different than any other adventurer using a magic item or weapon to protect themselves. At least,
Indeed, I'm sure you're a man of friend and family. Obviously, they come first before common riffraff that are trying to kill you. After all,
my boy, I am pleased to say I have never been placed in such a situation.
good
Unfortunately,
to hear,
my
Foghorn.
vast age is no longer and you got the joke.
I
Kenny figured it out really quick.
knew it was right away, but I didn't want to say it till now. But you said boy, I knew it. Anyways, continue.
So once he subdued some of these cultists, you did the thing. How much of the crowd was killed in that blast?
I believe every single one except one of them.
Hmm, now that's interesting. Most of the testimony we have says 2 escaped, but you say 1.
Yes, I tried to get him with my katana before he ran away, but unfortunately I missed. Or fortunately, however you want to look at it.
He scratches his beak for a second. We might have a false witness.
Indeed, there was only one survivor, good sir. I stake my life on it.
Where did you get peanuts?
Oh, it's actually ice.
How the hell did you get ice? It's the middle of spring.
We Karaturians have ways.
Hmm. I can call some of their testimony into question with that. Now, definitely be something we have to check with what survivors there are and of your crew. They would probably know account. If nothing else, you can always visit the morgue and
As long
talk
as
to them
their
that
eyes
way.
were open and their ears are sound, they all should have seen what I saw and heard what I heard.
Oh, my friend, if only witness testimony was that simple. I have seen murders committed in broad daylight right next to a man. He didn't know until the victim fell on him as he grabbed him, thinking he was getting mugged. His hand was covered in blood. Only then realizing the man on him was dead. Us pitiful mortals have a very poor understanding of the world and our surroundings.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then. Well, I definitely have a plan of attack now with some of this testimony. Supposedly 2 escaped from the thing, but you say 1. Now that's something we can corroborate. I can call the testimony of both of them in as one might be a plant by this cult of Sales Sali.
Sali!
Fabulous he Alibaba. Yes, we all know the damn song. Alright, let's see. He continues to look over his notes. Now, the only weapons with which you used to kill was your swordy thing. Crossbow.
My katana.
Writes down katana. Okay. I'm gonna just keep calling it swordy thing, but evidence will like a proper name. Your crossbow and this magic item which made the energy blast. Did
Mm-hmm.
anyone use fire?
Did Kanyo use fire?
He used a few fire bolts, but mostly missed.
I don't think anybody else used fire then.
Interesting. Now, the ones that appeared to be cultists, the ones armed and armored, did you engage in
Mm-hmm.
combat with them?
Yes. Didn't I?
You did not.
Oh, yeah. No, it seemed my other companions were taking care of them, so I wanted to assist against the other ones.
Interesting.
It's an often battle technique. One group takes care of one another, and other
No,
groups.
not that, son. What I'm referring to is based on initial reports. Some of the crowd was burned alive.
What?
Now, I'm just gotta address the scene. They had the followers of Shah captured, and they were being held at knife point, or sword point, I should say. And they did have a bonfire there, which they were going to either kill them and burn their bodies, or burn the bodies then kill them.
That's right. Weren't there some NPCs that we were trying to rescue?
Yes. And that amounts to another thing. Apparently, after your warning shot, we're going with that, they attacked their captives, and they did manage to kill one.
Indeed, they were merciless dogs, so I returned it in kind.
Did perhaps any of the ones you fought or, attacked with this magic fillet ability fall into the bonfire?
I don't know.
Something to check. I have a sneaking suspicion some evidence has most certainly been planted. Based on police reports and number of dead and escaped, I have one dead unaccounted for, not taken out by you or one of your companions, and not known to have been killed by the cultists or the rioters. We have an extra one who's escaped the said riot who doesn't match anyone's story. And we also got an extra body. As he writes down some various notes, basically telling the events of this, he hands them to Ashley. My dear, please take this to the tavern and speak with the rest of his party. I'd like them to look into the crime scene and try and identify the number of bodies that were there, and if they can remember the number of people that were there that night they fought. If they can get solid numbers, I might not only be able to get Vice innocent, I might be able to
Paint me as a heroic defender of the city?
I wouldn't go that far, but prove that the cult's activities go far beyond inciting a riot. They're planting evidence and interfering with the god.
Oh, I imagine. I'm sure someone even I even guarantee it, good sir, that even one of their members is probably on the jury, if not the foreman himself.
What proof do you have, son? If you can get me.
Oh, it's just a hunch. I don't have any proof, I'm
Hunch
afraid,
ain't
but
good enough, son. Might be good enough for me to move and do something, but ain't good enough to take before a court.
no, okay, suspending the fourth wall for a second. Do all the cultists have like tattoos or a mark that signifies them as one,
Yes,
or
they do.
just
It is
yes?
either
Just
on
make
their
sure you
shoulder or chest.
just make sure you chest or sorry, just chest. Just make sure you check their chests or shoulders for any markings on the jury beforehand. Please
Oh,
make a note of that.
That might be hard to do, but given what we know about the cult Salih, and that is an identifying mark of him, I might be able to convince a judge of that. Hell,
It's for their own safety.
the
I
other
mean,
attorney might even agree with me on that one. And
unless they want
actually,
to be less safe, you know.
that's actually a good thing we might want to bring up to the ones there. They're still interrogating the cultists. They've been just as uncooperative as you. Only difference is they ain't got no lawyers. And their case is
Hmm.
more slam dunk than yours. They're receiving extra treatment.
Wink, wink. I get what you mean.
Oh, pardon me, hiccup. Now,
Now, don't ruffle a few feathers.
leave the puns to me, boy. Based on what you've told me, we have our plans of attack. We call into question this testimony of the two survivors. One is probably real, one appears to be illegitimate. If we can prove that, we call both into question. Second, this extra body that has appeared on the scene. We might be able to prove more cult activities occurring.
Wherever you think they are, double it, and that's probably correct.
How do you double where you think they are, boy?
I meant that if you think there's like two members in the guard, there's probably 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, etc.
Mm.
Basically, they operate on a grand scale you could not even hope to fathom. In fact, your life may be in danger by actually defending me. I wouldn't
I've,
put it past them to kill you.
I have defended worse than you, ones who are actually guilty, and ones who could pay a hell of a lot more than what I'm being paid. Just so you know, and I'm sure the rest of your crew knows as well. You owe someone high up in this city a big favor. They ask
Fair
you,
enough.
do it. Alright.
I'm just saying, watch your back, as I would from
Um,
them.
mm. He hands Ashley. I want you to take that note to the tavern. Vice, is there anything else you would like to send to your friends?
Tell Zoroff he's gonna get a slap, but he doesn't know when it's coming.
I think by telling him that, you're giving it away.
Oh, you're right. I should probably just do it.
Very well. Alright. We will now go into the finer details of defending your case and such. And this shall conclude our interrogation. Next time on D&D, the party will reconvene at their tavern, and we'll take it from there. And, oh, by the way, Vice, tomorrow, I'm going to say afternoon, your trial will begin. So, your party's got 24 hours to find out what information they can. Good luck, everyone. See you next time on D&D.